Joe Robaina here of American Cane Self-Defense for Cane Masters, and today's topic, the 3 biggest mistakes to avoid with your walking cane when it comes to self-protection. Let's jump right into this. The first one is how you're carrying your cane. And listen, there's really only 2 ways to carry that cane. And you have to take into consideration how everybody else is viewing you when you're doing that. So there's no law that says that you have to be limping or faking an injury or anything like that. This is a medical device. I always say it's a medical device that with training can save your life. So we talk about either a standard grip, and that's where this portion of the cane here, the top portion of the cane, the horn is pointing towards you and you're walking this way, or you're gonna turn that around and you have it in a reverse grip where the horn is pointing away from you. In either case, the tip is always, the cane tip, always making contact with the floor. So what shouldn't we be doing? Well, we shouldn't be going into the suitcase grip and just hanging around this way with it because it calls attention. Tied into that, if you do have cane self-protection skills and you train and you're doing handling, you have to remember not to be showing off those skills while you're waiting in line because you get bored. And we know how it is, especially when you start training. This is fun. There's something that's very quote unquote cool about doing all this, and you can forget that you are in public while you're doing that. So number one, the number one mistake is be mindful of how you're carrying your cane. Big mistake number 2 has to do with forgetting that this is an impact tool. And an impact tool seeks bone, and you get in trouble when you're going into a self-defense application when you treat it as anything other than an impact tool. And let me show you what I mean by that. You often hear about strikes that are coming here to the midline and you're coming in, and so I'll go ahead and poke him in the abdomen. Well, really poking him in the abdomen with something like this. First of all, this is coming to his midline. He's a young guy. Always assume that your opponent is bigger, stronger, faster. I come in here, he knocks this cane out of the way. He can grab this cane with both hands, and now I find myself, I'm going to need a different skill set. But not only that, here's the issue. I strike him here and he's jacked up on adrenaline. He can take a good shot to the abdomen. He can flex that abdomen. He's willing to take that shot or take a shot here or take a shot here. It's the shots that he doesn't see coming when he moves towards me, and you get to take out the limb. You hear that? Listen. You hear that tack? So imagine that done this way, right? With power to take out that limb. On either side, he comes in, bam! And then that follow-up shot, always seeking bone, which has the greater probability of incapacitating. We like to say at American Cane Self-Defense, if you take out the limbs, that striking limb, whether it's carrying a tool, whatever it is, if you take this out, how is he then going to be functional with a tool or without? So mistake number 2 is forgetting that this served in its best capacity for self-protection is as an impact tool that seeks bone. And number 3 is just going for how you go, the failure to practice what we call in ACSD choking up. Choking up means that I'm going from the horn and the crook, whether I'm in a reverse grip, practicing this. How do I spring into action, right? Relaxing that grip, pressing down and coming up. The reason for that is because now you're here, you're under the adrenaline, you're still over here, and then he moves in, and either when you first start off, there's either going to be too much cane, or you move in and you're jammed, there's not enough. So you want to practice this to where, hey, there's enough, just enough of the tool of what I need over here to be able to move. See how that sneaks in there? Now I can use the cane to lock it down using both right in here, right? Oh, boom, there's the love tap. But it requires training. Same thing if you're here in a standard grip. Failure to practice, going from here to here. It's so simple, but it's so effective because it's in essence, you're getting out of the way. You're not hanging around with the cane this way. This puts a lot of stress on the wrist. You're over here, and you're going to come down from here. So whether you're carrying it in a standard grip or our preferred way in that reverse grip, practicing your choking up. So those are three of the most common, biggest mistakes that you can make with a walking cane when it comes to self-protection. It all comes down to the bottom line. It comes down to training. I'm Joe Robaina for American Cane Self-Defense for Cane Masters here today. And keep caning and stay safe.